Alright, today we're going to be looking at lesson 11.7, rational expressions with unlike denominators. We're going to be actually looking at how to make a common denominator for two rational expressions and then adding and subtracting them together. So it's sort of along the lines of what we've been doing, but with this addition of unlike denominators. So let's take a look. The way we normally find a common denominator, say if we have 3/4 plus 5/12. The way this actually works is we're going to break down the denominators into their factors. Say for 3/4, we're going to have 3/2 times 2, and plus 5/2 times 2 times 3. And we look at what's missing from each respectable side of the fraction. And you'll notice that we are missing the 3 from on the right side, the right denominator. It's missing over here on the left. So we multiply that through. When you multiply it through the top and bottom, we get 9/12, and we can add it to the 5/12. And we'll get 14/12, and we'll call that problem done. I know we can simplify, but we'll just say that's enough for now. And that's generally what we're going to be doing with rational expressions now. So throw a couple of variables in the mix and make a common denominator and go from there. So let's try one. At the top you can see the list of steps that we're supposed to do, and it starts by finding the least common denominator. Basically you're looking for the smallest denominator that they can be, so you're looking for missing factors. Then you're going to multiply those factors through. That's what step 2 translates to. And then we're going to actually add the tops together or subtract them. And then we're going to simplify at the end. So let's take a look at what all those steps mean. You'll notice in our two rational expressions that we're missing the 5. Again, we're just looking at making a common denominator. So this 5 over here on the left-hand side, we're going to multiply it through everything on the right. 5 gets multiplied through the top and bottom. But one thing we have to watch out for is that the top is actually grouped with parentheses. So when we multiply that through, we're actually going to be distributing that 5 to both elements on top. So when we distribute that, we got to remember to go to both places. Now let's rewrite the first fraction. That hasn't changed. We haven't multiplied anything through there, so it's still z plus 2 over 5z. The second fraction, after we multiply the 5 through to make that common denominator, will be 5z minus 30 on top over 5z. Now this is just like a simple adding rational expressions with like denominators now. We've had a ton of experience with that, so this is old hat to us. We just write this over that common denominator of 5z and combine our like terms. Z and 5z make 6z, and 2 and negative 30 make negative 28. And we can't simplify anything out of that. Nothing is divisible on all three parts, so that is our final answer. Let's try one on your own. Alright, so pause the video here, check back for the answer, and if you get stuck, you can check back for a couple of steps too. You'll notice on the denominator that we are missing the 4 from on the right side. So we're going to multiply that 4 through both the top and bottom of the right fraction. We'll get b minus 2 is over 4b plus, let's distribute that 4. So we'll draw our parentheses in. That'll be 4b minus 28 over 4b. And now we'll write everything over our common denominator of 4b and simplify. So b plus 4b makes 5b, and negative 2 and negative 28 makes 30. and we're done. So now, what does it look like when we have trinomials in here? Clearly we don't have a common denominator, but we kind of notice that this trinomial right here, first thing that jumps out to me is 6 and 9 both have common factors of 3. So this bottom right-hand side also does. Something interesting happens. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by factoring that left lower corner of the rational expression here. So the top we'll leave alone. Bottom left, what multiplies to be 9 and adds to be negative 6? Well, that would be negative 3 and negative 3. So our two factors become x minus 3 and x minus 3. The right-hand fraction stays the same. There's nothing there that we need to change. So now we're looking at what does this left-hand fraction have that this one doesn't. And you'll notice it actually has two x minus 3's. So we're going to take one of those x minus 3's, and just like we were multiplying a 4 or a 5, we're going to multiply that factor through the top and bottom. And I'm going to sort of do the work as we build this problem here. So we know our common denominator here is x minus 3 times x minus 3. We did that by multiplying that factor through over here on the right-hand side. But what happens to the top now? Well, the left-hand side stays x plus 7. So let's just write that in there. X plus 7 hasn't changed. And now we're adding that right-hand factor of x plus 3 times x minus 3. And now what I'm going to do is FOIL this, because this is being multiplied. These two factors are being multiplied. We're going to do first, which I already did, x times x gives us x squared. Outside would be x times negative 3, which will give us minus 3x. Inside will be the 3 times the x, that's positive 3x. And then the last would be 3 times negative 3, which will give us negative 9. So now, really, our only step is to combine our like terms on the top. So what are we going to combine up here? I'm going to rewrite this over my x minus 3 times x minus 3. We're really not going to FOIL the bottom. That's fine. We can leave it just like that is. We're really just concerned with the top. So what combines? Well, negative 3x and a positive 3x makes 0, so we're going to cross those out. We'll put the x squared out front. We have the single x term now, and then 7 and negative 9 makes negative 2. And we're all done. We're not going to FOIL the bottom, like I said. The top's simplified as far as it can go. We're right on our way. The only thing that's left to check for is if we factored this top, would anything cancel with the bottom? If you factored this right now, you would notice that nothing would cancel with x minus 3. So this is as simple as it can be. Let's do a you try problem. Again, check back here for the answer in a second. Pause the video, and you can start it up if you want a step or two. Otherwise, just start it back up when you think you got your answer. So again, we're going to start by factoring the left-hand rational expression, the bottom here. We'll make our two factors. And what are the factors of 16 that add up to be negative 8? It'd be negative 4 and negative 4. So y minus 4 and y minus 4 are our two factors. Now, it doesn't really happen like that too often, where we, just like the last problem, we had minus 3 and minus 3. This problem we have minus 4 and minus 4. That's just by chance. Those were the two random problems that I picked, so don't bank on that happening every time. But the second one, we haven't changed yet. Y plus 4 over y minus 4. Put these in parentheses. So what's missing? What are we missing? We've got two y minus 4's on the left, one on the right, so we're going to multiply one of those through. we'll bring one of those and multiply it through over here, times y minus 4 on top, and times y minus 4 on bottom. Now we'll write everything over our common denominator. And what do we get on top when we combine this? Well, the y minus 14, we haven't done anything to, so that just stays y minus 14. But we're going to add the FOILed version of these two factors into the problem. So what do we get when we factor these out? Let's rewrite this stuff. Alright, so let's expand. And I'm going to do the work up here, up at the top. So we're going to take and multiply. First would be y times y. It's y squared. Y times negative 4 is negative 4y. 4 times y makes 4y. And negative 16 for the lasts. Alright. So let's combine our like terms. Negative 4y and 4y, those are gone. They make 0. And our y squared, that'll be our leading term. We've got the single y from the front. And negative 14 and negative 16 make negative 30. And there we have it. Again, that concludes the flip video for the weekend. Remember, the You Try It problems are your homework. Bring those in on Monday for your homework points, and we'll see you back in class.